this is true. Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
Official.StreetSmarks@gmail.com is how you want to contact us. Listen to us right here exclusively on YouTube, Street Smart Audio, or fuck with us. Official.StreetSmarks on SoundCloud and IG, Street Smart Fanpage on Facebook, Street_Smarks on Twitter, ECW Memories on Facebook. This is the Extreme Retro Review for ECW, July 5th, 1994. Hot Stuff Hollywood. Your thoughts of this show?
Oh man, this show gave me plenty to say because it's long thought short. I found it to be once again back to back like last week's show, very enjoyable. I don't know if it was a good way or in a bad way. I still haven't figured that part out yet. But it was a lot of things that happened in this show that I liked. And Sandman is one of the MVP candidates, I'll just say.
So we have a cold open. It's of Funk beating up people. And it's talking over. So we have Dory Funk talking about how he wants to be, how he loves being in ECW.
He loves being alive.
You got the Funks and the Public Enema at Heatwave 1994 in a barbed wire match.
Poor Public Enemy.
So we open with a match. It's the Pubic Enema versus Phi Delta Slam. Who the fuck are these jobbers?
Oh, man.
Scoop is awful on play-by-play. Phi Delta Slam came from Florida, just a job. It's a back-and-forth match to start. Corner heat spot, and the extended squidash is on. Phi Delta gets some comeback spots, and the crowd is into it.
Hell yeah.
The Enema are getting good heel heat at this time.
Hell yeah.
I'm not used to long matches on TV. The Enema isn't the guys to do it with. However, this is the type of match to showcase their shtick. It goes outside, and the Phi Delta Slam get the upper hand. Scoop is still awful. Grunge gets up. Phi Delta #1. Rocco goes through a table. Back in. Grunge with the inverted DDT. Senton drive-by for the dub. I gave it 1.5 stars. H-Dub, your thoughts?
This was I found myself more wrapped in and giving a fuck than I initially thought I would. Especially when Phi Delta Slam, or did I say that right?
You did.
Phi Delta Slam first came out and shit. My initial thought was like, oh my god, who let these retards in?
OG. Yeah. These damn retards. What the hell are these goofballs doing here?
And then they ended up putting on this match and shit. And then for a split second, I thought like, oh shit, I was rooting for him to beat Public Enemy and shit. And I like Public Enemy now and shit, cause they hate Terry Funk, and I'm all about that. But somehow Phi Delta Slam.
The frat boys.
The Glee Club and shit. Got me roped in and shit. So yeah, I enjoyed the match, man. Like, that's how wrestling matches should do. Like, even if it's goofy and the niggas can't work for real and shit,
it's a work.
They should be able to suck you in, though. You know what I'm saying?
So after the match, Johnny Grunge is trying to throw out one of the frat boys, and the frat boy hits him. It was a shoot. He like potatoed him in the stomach, and he slid out the ring, and the public and him do the cabbage patch to the crowd's delight.
Oh man, this is clutch, by the way.
Scoop promises more Phi Delta Slam. I ask you, hot stuff, for what?
Oh shoot. Well,
they came to job. Why do I need to see more of Phi Delta Slam just for them to lose?
they had a good match with Public Enemy, so I mean that's something.
Moving on. We got a Heatwave 1994 bumper. It's set to slam. Then it segues into the Dreamer Shane match for tonight. It says, will Dreamer be Shane's nightmare?
Oh, very clever.
Moving on. We have a Goof and Tranny promo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fucking Cuck Cairo in the building. Oh, shoot.
It's going to be a dueling Canes match at Heatwave. Cairo says, take your best shot, Sandman, because I'm going to take mines. Then the cuck lights a squally for Miss Peaches.
Oh, wow, I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad you... And so, Woman is this boss bitch, take no shit, she'll whoop your motherfucking ass for her man type bitch and shit. But she always lights Sandman's motherfucking cigarette. So... look at the dichotomy where Peaches is talking last, like she the motherfucking wrestler, and Tommy Cairo is lighting her cigarette. Happy Valentine's Day, cucks, by the way.
She says, Sandman, 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 Sandman. It's always been the same old story. Ever since we've been together, it's always been Tommy Cairo who's lit my fire.
Oh, how nice of her to put over Cairo.
Cairo's over there standing around like a goof with his eyeliner.
Like, how did I get here? Where did my tooth go?
I ask you, hot stuff, why is Sandman the heel?
Oh, he's not. Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be, but he's not.
Two goofs. So you have a goof package. It's him getting beat up. He's getting beat up at When Worlds Collide. He gets beat up at a spot show. He gets beat up at the farmer's market. He gets beat up at the instant replay promo. He gets beat up at the farmer's market again versus 911 into a choke slam. He gets beat up at Hostile City Showdown. Then it goes into the Sandman promo. He says, dueling Canes! Dueling Canes, Tommy Cairo! Have you lost your mind, goof? To that I say, I concur. You just showed this motherfucker get his ass whipped for the last 3 months. And this motherfucker wants another match with the cane.
Oh, shit.
Have you lost your mind, goof? Indeed. Why can't you just pay your bill? This nigga is tired of whipping his ass. He just, bitch, I just want the money now, nigga.
Just pay your bill.
Just pay the bill, bitch, nigga. I'm tired of whipping your ass.
Oh, shit.
Motherfucking microphone goes to woman.
Oh, yeah.
She says, she's looking mighty fine.
Yes, she is.
Just the motherfucking sexiness that exudes out of her being just a bitch.
Rest in peace.
And she goes, Tommy Cairo. Bitch. 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 Then she likes to squally for hack. We're going to smoke you out. And Sandman blows out into the fucking camera. These motherfuckers get better every week. Every week these motherfuckers get better.
I love how she just called Peaches bitch. Just
She says, Tommy Cairo, bitch. We're gonna smoke you out.
Oh, my jaw literally dropped and shit. I'm like, oh shit.
I watched that shit like 14 times in a row.
I made the dude from WrestleMania face when Undertaker lost, the black dude, and shit. I was like, oh my God.
And seriously, the worst and most mismatched bumper to date. Sabu versus Chad Autism.
Oh, is that what you got?
Sabu's doing his stuff.
Oh yeah, no, that was what
Moonsaults and shit. I highlighted this shit last week. But then Chad goes and does his shitty spin wheel kick. 2 arm drags on a Shira. Another shitty spin wheel kick. A somersault plancha from the top rope to the floor on Johnny Hotbody. Where the fuck has Johnny Hotbody been?
Shout out to him, man. Tony Stetson.
The fashion plate of ECW.
You know what I'm saying? The do-rags and shit.
And a guillotine leg drop that wasn't half bad. Then it goes into a package, Taz versus Snooker next week, and it's set to Welcome to the Jungle. So we have a match. Jason and his Pitbulls versus Mikey Whipwreck, the TV champion. They show the finish of Taz versus Pitbull number 1 and the return / re-debut of Pitbull number 1 or Pitbull number 2 from Hostile City Showdown.
Yeah.
So it's set to loser. Mikey comes to the ring. There's no scoop on play-by-play, so it's cool.
Poor scoop.
The Pitbulls cut a pre-tape promo. The tape trader show had no sound. I just see number 1 lip syncing and he's screaming. It's just... Number 1 is insane, so I'm 50-50 either way. So I go to the network. Complete squidash as number 2 tosses Mikey around like a rag doll. The crowd is completely into it. Mikey hits Jason. Number 1 hits Mikey for the DQ. 1 star. I said it's perfectly fine storytelling. There's a heel beat down. Taz runs in for the save. A couple of shots, but he gets beat up for 2. 2 stars. Jason comes in. He gets a shot. He gives a shot to the balls. He does an elbow drop. He starts gyrating to the crowd. Scoop wasn't even half bad when he did his play-by-play here. Never mind. Scoop is awful. Mikey gets help to the back. Your thoughts?
My thoughts. How on God's green earth, and some people, if you ask, on God's green flat earth, do you say this is good for storytelling? In my opinion, it is stupid for storytelling. It makes the manager of the stable look stupid when all 3 of your dudes have had a shot at this dude that you can beat, and none of you have left with the doggone belt yet. From a person who looks at it as just telling a simple story, it is retarded to me. And who keeps giving Jason's stablemates? How do they get another title shot after this?
Well, the TV title has always been an open challenge type of belt, unless it's specifically parlayed into a feud or a storyline. It's usually open challenge every week.
All right, well, it's more than 3 niggas in ECW.
I'll say this. When Mikey hit Jason at Hostile City Showdown, recounted by us at Extreme Retro Review, number 71.
Right.
Jason has hatched a plot because he's been very, very much so embarrassed by this egregious assault by this flunky known as Mikey Whipwreck. So let's just say Jason is softening him up for the kill.
They could have killed him 3 times by now just by pinning him instead of getting DQ'd. It'd be one thing if they was trying to soften up 911 and shit, but it's Mikey Whipwreck.
the Scott Keith blog of doom has their own lexicon, and they have their own acronyms. Like this guy gets it. People will say TGGI.
Okay.
All right. There's another acronym that they use. It's called liposwig. 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 Liposwig means let it play out. Let it play out. See where it goes. See where it goes. See where it goes.
Okay, and I get that, but to get me to suspend my disbelief, you have to build on a solid foundation. And the foundation right now, to me, is they're building on a foundation of you've had 3 cracks at the most beatable champion in any federation's history. And 3 different times you've gotten DQ'd and shit. So it's like you're beating, storyline wise, they're beating themselves and shit. So to the fact that there has to be this master plot hatch to beat this fucking weakling is ridiculous to me.
See where it goes. See where it goes.
It's like the United States, they're racking their brains and they spend billions of dollars in 2 years worth of research trying to figure out how they're going to invade fucking Little Italy and Cleveland and shit. You know what I'm saying? With population 6,000 or whatever it is.
Let's just see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So the producers want Paul Lee to talk about Heatwave on July 16th and the Shane and Sabu main event. He throws around a whole bunch of OJ references because he says he can't talk about them because everything in the media is coming up OJ. You know what I'm saying? So if he was the people in charge of the OJ Simpson case, he would put OJ in a gas chamber, crank that sucker up, you know what I'm saying, and let OJ suffer his fate so they can show ECW. So Paul Lee can talk about the future of professional wrestling match between Shane Douglas, the ECW heavyweight champion, and the Sabu, the most homicidal, genocidal, suicidal, death-defying athlete in professional sports today. They cut to the Foley promo from Hostile City Showdown. I said they're milking the fuck out of this Foley promo.
They are. They're getting their money's worth because that's it.
He doesn't have much to say about Cactus Jack since he's protected by Ted Turner in WCW. But if he ever comes back, and a bit of foreshadowing, if he ever comes back to ECW, he'll make him feel as welcome as a South American soccer player scoring for the opposite team. I want to bring to mention that people die in soccer.
I've heard.
Yes. The Fuge was in Germany in 2006 when they hosted the World Cup. And I think it was in the quarterfinals or the semifinals. One of Spain's players had scored for the opposite team.
Ooh.
And he died.
Ooh.
So.
How did he die?
Oh, the fans killed him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Just the fans?
Yeah, the fans killed him like in a club like a couple days later.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He then turns his attention to Shane.
How do you go to the club after kicking in for the wrong goal?
I mean, maybe he's trying to get some loser pity pussy.
Yeah, well, no, you go on Plenty of Fish for that, though.
Wasn't no Plenty of Fish in 06. You still had to hit up Rat Planet.
No, I was about to say, should go on Spain Planet there. But or Spanish Planet, whatever.
Mi Gente. Yeah. It was mijente.com.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I had a profile on mijente.com. I was Dominican.
Oh. Well, wait a minute, sidebar. Oh, man, I know we running long, but how did Amente, or however you said that shit?
Mijente.com was a MySpace for Spanish people back in the early 2000s.
So, Dominican food, how did that work out for you?
Fucking bitches.
Oh, nice. And you can speak Spanish and shit?
Fuck no! Poquito habla español. Poquito.
What does poquito?
A little bit.
Okay. See. Okay. All right. Sorry.
Paulie then turns his attention to Shane Douglas, who out of all the personalities in ECW, all the gimmicks, you know what I'm saying, all the crazy people, all the street brawlers like Mr. Hughes and the lunkheads, you know what I'm saying, the hoodies like Public Enemy, you know what I'm saying, there's a wrestler who holds the big strap.
That's right.
And in only 4 years, one man has pinned your shoulders to the mat, Shane Douglas. That man was Sabu.
You got lucky.
October 2nd, 1993 at Blood Feast 2, recounted by us, Extreme Retro Review number 30. On July 16th at Heatwave, it's going to be a match that who's going to lead wrestling into the future. Will it be Shane Douglas, the current ECW heavyweight champion, or will it be Sabu, the homicidal, genocidal, suicidal, death-defying athlete in professional sports? Paul doesn't know, but on the 16th, you can find out. It ends at very money. HW, your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I don't know why Paulie is questioning who is going to be the man that's going to lead wrestling into the future. Because in my mind, the answer is simple. It's going to be Shane Douglas. And the reason why it's going to be Shane Douglas, because he is a disciple of the great organization known as Hot Stuff International. He is the man who was blessed to have the torch passed down to him by the great leader and founder of that one organization, the one who is the reason for my name's sake, the one and only King of Philadelphia, Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert. And Shane Douglas, like Paul said himself in his own promo, is a wrestler. And he is a wrestler cut from the cloth of the great Eddie Gilbert. And that is the reason why he will walk out of Heatwave as the ECW heavyweight champion.
So we have a match. Sabu with 911 and Paulie versus Chad Autism. Scoop says Sabu is the Hannibal Lecter of ECW. Scoop is forever awful. Chad's already in the ring. Jobber to the Stars entrance. Sabu's still in the Hannibal Lecter gear. Sabu with the shine early. It pops the crowd. He does a seated Michinoku driver of sorts. Paul shudders on camera. It's a complete squidash. One-arm camel clutch. It's a botched Arabian power bomb. Cheating distraction combo. And Chad Austin gets on the table. It's a somersault plancha through the table. A slingshot leg drop with an assisted chair from Paulie for the win. Dud. Your thoughts?
Oh man, yeah, it's extended squash. Maybe not quite extended. Yeah, squash. So you know, yeah.
Did Chad get anything in?
Yeah, no.
Scoop is always awful. Sabu gets cheered, and he gets chained up and taken to the back. And then Shane and Mr. Hughes come out.
Yeah.
You know, 911 is pulling him backwards on the dolly. Shane and Hughes pull up. And Mr. Hughes pulls up right behind 911. He backs into Mr. Hughes. Mr. Hughes says, "Get out of my way. Get 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 out of my way."
I wasn't sure what he said, so that's okay.
911 starts jaw-jacking into his face. They're having some words.
Oh, shit.
The crowd is chanting 911, but conveniently, the surrounding members of the audience aren't chanting anything, so I think it's crowd sweetening. Shane backs off Mr. Hughes. 911 backs off 911, and cooler heads prevail.
That stare down was awesome. That was so awesome.
So in the main events, we have Shane Douglas, the ECW heavyweight champion, along with the roughneck Mr. Hughes, versus the Putz. Tommy Dreamer.
Oh man, first shot at the big time, facing the heavyweight champ in the main event.
There's 6 minutes left on the tape trader show. The Putz is out to Pearl Jam. Mr. Hughes immediately jumps Tommy Dreamer. Shane decks the ref.
Well, so much for that, Tommy.
Scoop claims that Tommy Dreamer won the NWA Rookie of the Year. Who cares?
Oh man, so at least that voting is finally over with.
Oh, big whoop on that payoff.
Yeah.
Putz gets the sidewalk slam, and he wins via DQ. But he still kicks out. There was no reason. Mr. Hughes wasn't even in the match. Why is he getting out of the sidewalk slam?
So Scoop could put over him kicking out of the sidewalk slam and Jimmy's big splash.
Good one, hot stuff.
The Rookie of the Year, everybody.
Shane talks shit. He hits a Bailey to Bailey. He talks some more shit about Sabu with his foot on the Putz neck the entire time. What a goof.
That was awesome.
What a goof.
Well done, Shane.
What a goof. He talks about his one loss to Sabu. He said it doesn't mean anything. It's a fluke. Then he starts shitting on Ricky Steamboat. He starts shitting on Tom Zink. Starts shitting on Bret Hart. He starts shitting on Dick Flair. He puts over Mr. Hughes. He buries the entire ECW locker room, and that show fades to black. Overall, great promos.
Well done.
Good vignettes. Quick, entertaining matches that progress the fuse. Equals a thumbs up show.
I concur.
Next week, the go home show for Heatwave 1994. Until then, life is a work. Make sure you get paid for it. We out. Peace.
Peace.